Hey y'all, get it. Well, good morning. Today is officially Friday, April the 4th of 2025. And the time is like 12, I don't know, like 12:25 a.m. I was just sitting on my couch. I've been studying, I've been working, and I do have to be to work on today. I'm super jet lagged because I had to work a trip to Seattle 2 days ago, and I'm still jet lagged. So that's the reason why I don't do like LA or any of those types of states anymore, because it takes me a few days to recoup from. And I have this garment on inside out. It's okay though. So that's how God is working on me from the inside out. All right. But it's harder for me to recoup from those particular longer trips. Needless to say, I come on to say that when this year has started, I'm really contemplating on if I want to share this now or if I want to wait until my hair is down. I'm not in a bonnet and I have makeup on. I'm going to be obedient. It's 12 a.m. Why not? So needless to say, when this year had started, I had spent time with God, of course. And in the midst of me spending time with God, I declared and decreed so many things that He had shown me. And one thing that I have written down in my New Year goal list, so to speak, was that every single thing that I touch will turn into gold. So I've been, of course, as a flight attendant, I stay at so many different hotels, and I'm not going to mention the hotel I'm speaking of right now. I'm just letting you know I stay at multiple hotels. There's this one particular chain of hotels that I have fell in love with. I mean, absolutely in love with. And I made the decision at the beginning of this year that anytime I go on a vacation, when it's leisure, I'm going to choose this particular hotel chain that I've fallen in love with. So in this, okay, at least should I turn my garment in? I'm going to leave it. So needless to say, I particularly, my job just sent us an email stating that if we sign up with this said hotel chain, whether we are already existing customers or wish to sign up, we can fast track for a specific status, so to speak, right? We can fast track to that particular status. Since I've started, the craziest thing is that since I've started taking my own little vacations and everything by myself, traveling this world by myself, I have been booking rooms through this said hotel chain, right? But at the very beginning of the year, when I was declaring and like speaking life into all of my goals and everything, I wrote down everything that I touch will turn into gold. Everything I touch will turn into gold. So this said hotel, again, I signed up this year. So it was telling me like I had 50 nights before the end of the year to even get to the silver status, right? Yeah. 50 nights. I know darn well I wasn't going to be spending nobody's 50 nights at this particular sad hotel. I love it, but not love it enough to where though I'm spending 50 nights worth of time at nobody's hotel in this physical year at least, right? So I had no color. I had no color. I was just ashy gray, so to speak, every time I logged into said app, right? So I logged on, I registered and everything with my company portal or whatever. And y'all, when I just logged on to the app after registering, it fast tracked me to the gold status. So whereas though it said I needed the X amount of days to get to just the silver status, it skipped me from the ashy gray, no color, bypassed the silver, and now I am a gold status within seconds of me signing up. So I say, and which is what's even crazier is, please hold on, please hold. Okay, so you guys, the reason why I said please hold is because as I look at my my light fixtures, I'm just there's some gold. Do you see the gold inside of my lighting fixtures? It's just accentuating but nonetheless, and it's whatever. But nonetheless, legit, it's only April the 4th of 2025. And the things that he has done for me, this one right here, since January the 1st is insane. So it's only April the 4th, by the way. So I just fast tracked to gold. So that just declares one thing. Maybe, this is the second testimony that I want to share on that's happened on this year. Well, it's a third major testimony that I really want to share, but I cannot share that right now because it's just I do not want to share that until it's completely it's signed, sealed, and delivered. Yes. So nonetheless, but number two, one day I woke up, maybe January the 15th of this year, and I woke up and I think I was coming to work and I was commuting to work. And while I was on my commuting plane was either the 14th or the 15th of January of this year, 2025. And I was, while I was commuting to work, I said, God, I'm tired of commuting. I love my job, but I'm tired of commuting. I just want to be able to get off work and go home. Get off work and go home. That's all I want to do is get off work and go home. I don't want to have to commute home. And again, as a flight attendant, you do not have to commute. That is your prerogative. That I did not have to commute. I didn't sign up for that. They didn't force me to have to commute. When I took on a job, I could have easily moved into the base in which I was assigned. I chose to commute because Dallas is where I live, right? So that's my home. So again, this was January. Let me count the days because I can tell you the exact date because what I'm about to tell you guys right now, it happened exactly 2 weeks from the original date of my email. So January the 24th was when the incident occurred. So 14 days from that is January the 10th. Easy math. January the 10th. So January the 10th was when I sent my leasing office. I was on a plane and I sent my leasing office the email, and my property manager reached back out and I said, hey, how much would it be for me to terminate my lease? And when is my lease up? You guys, for some odd reason, I had deleted everything in my phone. I deleted everything in my phone, and up to and including even my emails. Like what I do every year, my friend Leon taught me this, is like at the end of the year, on December the 31st of every year, I delete every single email. So when January the 1st comes, I have a fresh start in my entire email chain. And his logic is that if people haven't contacted you about X, Y, or Z by December the 31st, it's not important. So don't bring in a new year with all of the former clutter. So I've been doing that for years now. So in the interim, I deleted my lease. Not a smart decision. So I tried to download the lease through the portal, the resident portal, and it just was not downloading for whatever reason. So my property manager went ahead and emailed me a new copy of it. In addition to her emailing me a new copy, she was like, my lease was supposed to be up on July, the end of July of 2025. April, May, June. No, the end of June of 2025. So if she said to terminate your lease, you will have to pay 85% of your monthly rate plus give a 60-day notice, plus whatever your monthly rent rate is. So I would have had to basically pay 2 times the amount of rent. That's it. And I was willing to do it because it was that deep. Like, I just was tired of being sick and tired of commuting. It just took a toll on my body. Say as if I had 4 flights a day and I still have to commute home. It was like a whole nother flight, and I'm just exhausted. So that's like a 5th flight, even though I'm not working the 5th flight, if that makes any sense. So I just didn't feel like doing it, y'all. Then if there's a storm, if there's a delay, it's a whole part-time job to figure out how to get back home as a commuter. And again, that's something I signed up for. I signed up for that, and it's okay. So I said I really have not been able to maximize my job as much as I truly wanted to as a commuter, because I can't. It's like I love like doing volunteer work. I love doing all of that, but I cannot take on those opportunities or anything job related because I'm so exhausted from commuting after working. So I'm not going to come or sign up for anything as a commuter. I'm just not going to do it on my day off. But now, so needless to say, I had gone to Japan for my birthday. I went on a 2-week vacation to Japan. Once that trip was over on the 10th, I went on vacation for 2 weeks. And I went to Japan by myself, y'all. And when I went to Japan, I went to go see my mentors. I had when I say a ball. So remind you, Japan is a day ahead of us. So I left Japan on January the 25th of 2025. However, when I returned back into the States, it was January 24th of 2025. So basically, I got to live through January 24th 2 times, y'all. How you doing? So nonetheless, I was able to, so I returned back to the States on January 24th. As soon as I landed, I was getting all these messages, and it was just a bit much. I'm like, who is calling me from this number? Like, why is somebody blowing up my phone like this? And it's my property manager. She was like, I've been trying to call you since 3 a.m. I mean, everybody's in your apartment. Basically, we had I lived in a high rise. As you guys know, you see multiple videos on this channel for me showing you guys. But I lived in a high rise, and I'm not going to tell you the floor, but almost at the top of the building. And the pool is actually on the 32nd floor. The pool collapsed, and it flooded out from the 32nd floor to my floor, every single unit on my side of the building, every unit. So she was basically calling me. It was like urgent. She filled up all of my voice messages. She emailed me, she called me, she texted me. But because I was in, I guess, a spotty area, I wasn't getting internet. Like, I wasn't getting anything on the plane until I landed stateside. And I just took a deep breath. She said, yeah, like, it's bad. So she started, but she also sent me real-time videos of everything that was transpiring. Of course, I didn't see any of this until I landed stateside. So it was so bad. Like, the flood was so bad. Like, people, they all had rain boots on. It was just muggy. It was a lot going on, y'all. So she gave me 2 hours. So remind you, this is January the 24th. January the 24th, which was exactly 2 weeks. I cannot wait until I learn how to, like, insert clips and stuff into my videos. But once I do, it's over. But she was able to, so she gave me 2 options. she immediately said, because yours were, she said, my flood was severe. My flood was severe, but, excuse me, my flood was minimal. Excuse me, my flood was minimal compared to the severity of other people's floods that was like on 34, 32, 31, etc. Right? So what they had to do is they had to take those people and put them in all of the units that were available, right? So once it got to my floor, myself and my neighbor, they gave us two options. They had no more units left. So they gave us two options. Option number one was to terminate our leases with no fees. Option number two was to move us to a sister property. They had no more sister properties in Texas, so they asked us if we wanted to move to a sister property in Lafayette, Louisiana, or their sister property in Atlanta, Georgia. I am based in Atlanta, y'all. So it worked out in my favor. So it was like an effective immediately thing. Remind you, I always pay my bills like a whole month or two ahead. I've always been that way. So I went ahead and I had already paid my I just didn't really have a budget to go to Japan, and I say that in the most humblest way. I really, really do, y'all. I say that in the most humblest way. But I also didn't want to overspend when I got to Japan. So, but because of course I just didn't know that our dollar just stretched further there. So I went ahead and I paid my rent before I even went to. I paid all my bills before I went on vacation. And so I had let her know that. And she's like, oh, don't worry about that. We'll get you your rent back. Like, you're not going to be paid for, you're not going to miss out on anything. So I'm like, what? I said, well, I still need to like figure out how to get here. She said, oh no, you don't have to figure out anything. Like, we will take care of everything. She said, you can go ahead and pay for like the whatever moving truck services you want, and we will reimburse you. Well, no. She never told me she was going to reimburse me. I didn't even think to ask because I was just so frustrated, y'all. I was so frustrated. And when I got in the house, it was fans everywhere, like those loud industrial fans, and they were everywhere. It had to be it was either 8 or 12 in my apartment. And they had to drain the water. It was water everywhere. The next morning, I went to go, I heard like, you know how you run in one of those like fat sweatsuits or whatever? Like those weight loss sweatsuits, that's when like the water is in it. That's what I heard. So I was like, what is that noise? I went to go in my living room, y'all. I just went to go put my finger on the wall, and all this water just came gushing down. I said, oh my gosh, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. So long story short, overnight, whatever was salvageable, I was able to move to Atlanta. Like I'm only temporarily here up until everything is renovated and like my old place is renovated, and they said that can take a minimum of 6 to 8 months. So because they're completely removing the pool from the rooftop, and they're going to like rebuild one on the ground. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm here. And so my rent had gone down like an additional $200 because it goes by the market rate. So my rent is $200 less here. They did send me my money back. Then she called me and said, she said, this was completely unexpected. She said, the money that she said, send me, a copy of your, what is it called? My moving van, like my Penske invoice or whatever. And we're going to go ahead and reimburse you for that as well. And she, continued to apologize or whatever. But I didn't make a big deal out of it. You know why? Because I sat there and I was just thinking I said, what's the likelihood? I said, God is so good, y'all. What's the likelihood that I emailed this lady 2 weeks to the date asking her how much was it to terminate my lease. And when y'all see this text message, when she had wrote, your lease, we're going to terminate your lease with no fees associated. That's what she wrote back. She just simply wrote me that. And God made a way. And I always say, God got me through a fire. I survived. He got me through a bankruptcy. I survived. He got me through a flood. No, and he got me through a flood. I survived. He got me through so many heartbreaks. I survived. You know what I'm saying? So I know that my purpose is way greater than one could ever think or ever imagine. And I'm not sure why I've been rambling for 21 minutes, because I was only... I've only came on here to simply talk about the whole... I've only come on here, honestly, y'all, to talk about the whole fast track to gold status, and the fact that I wrote down that everything that I touch in 2025 and beyond will turn into gold. And I just like made that connection on right now. But so many signs, wonders, and miracles have been happening. And I said one other thing that I had, I always ask God, my particular sign when God is listening to me, he's hearing me, is ladybugs. I'll always ask him to send me either a cardinal or a ladybug. Because for some odd reason, I've been seeing them since 2012 when I first moved to Atlanta. Fun fact, when I first moved to Atlanta back in 2012, I'm just hearing like he gives us the desires of our hearts. That's it. I literally just heard that. But nonetheless, when I first moved here, I also lived in a high rise, and I remember I would go out on the balcony. I was just so sad all the time in Atlanta. I was so sad, and I just never understood why I was so sad all the time. And I was in my early 20s, and I remember just looking down, and even though I was so blessed, I was looking down on my balcony, and I just noticed all of these ladybugs, and I'm like, gross. So I I went in the house, and I like started spraying them down, and I got rid of them. And so I hadn't gone out onto the balcony for a little while, but I went back out there, and I had, when I say they multiplied, y'all, they multiplied. And I was like, what? So at this point, my best friend to this day, like Tanika, she was over there, and she was like, girl, you don't get rid of ladybugs. You got a ladybug's nest up here. Like, she was like, you know, your house is covered. That means good luck. And I never knew that, you know? So from that point on, anytime I needed the sign from God that I was on the right track, or if I should be, whatever, I always ask him to send me ladybugs. I was just working a trip to Milwaukee last week, and my coworkers were like amazing. And one of my coworkers, she particularly, we kept hanging out the whole 3 days. And as I was telling her like the like how good God has been in my life. I'm not scared to share like God's glory about me in my life. I don't care. I know I'm a work in progress, y'all. I know I still got Peter tendencies in me now. I still had Peter tendencies in me, y'all. However, I will say this much. At no point in time am I ever scared to speak of God's glory and his grace in my life, particularly in my life at all. Like ever. Even if I'm in sin, I'll still speak of God's glory. I still will, like, period. So needless to say, I was telling her, I said, I always ask him to send me a cardinal, or I'll always ask him to send me ladybugs. And I said, anytime he answers my prayers, I'll see a ladybug. While we were leaving, right? while when we were leaving, you know, some people believe you, they don't believe you. That's not my business. But what I will say is, she and I were conversing on a van the next morning as we were heading back to the airport. And the first thing, we were both looking up like to the left. And when we look up, I said, oh my gosh, look at the ladybugs. And there were 3 big, like, I guess iconic ladybugs on the building. And in that moment, I think she just knew, like she gravitated towards me even more, because that was only God. Like, I think giving his earthly wink, saying like, thank you for spreading the word and being obedient. I think that's really what he was doing. So that was day 1 of the Milwaukee layover, right? I had a Milwaukee layover. Like, we came back to Atlanta, and then we went right back to Milwaukee. So day 2 was another Milwaukee. I think that's how you pronounce it, layover. So we were at the same hotel, everything, right? And when we go into, the entire crew, we all went out. And as soon as we walk into like this place, wherever, I can't tell you where we were, but as soon as we walked into this place, y'all, why would we look at these like buttons you put on your clothes or whatever? Please hold. Let me show you. Why when we walked into this particular store, oh, say it, don't spray it. I hope y'all didn't see that. But nonetheless, I seen this particular ladybug button. I can't. It's like a pen that you can put on your clothes or whatever. But it says the Ladybug Building, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I immediately got it. It was only like $1, 50 cents or $1. I don't know. I purchased a couple of them. But nonetheless, I could not believe that. And I just couldn't stop laughing. And it was like sitting right on top, as if it was like that golden coin that you will see shining on the ground when everyone else walked past it. And so I couldn't help but to purchase it. But she and I, again, were standing right by each other, next to each other, and we both spotted it at the same time. So I always ask God for his signs, wonders, and miracles to guide me so I'll know I'm on the right track. And I know I'm on the right track right now. But, and going back to when I just heard a few minutes ago, he'll give us the desires of our hearts. He truly will. He knew that I was not necessarily overwhelmed, because as a flight attendant, you can work as much as you want or as least as you want. But he knew that I needed a sense of regiment. Like, that's how I personally thrive, is if I have a regiment. And it's like I was starting, stopping with my workout journey. But I'm going to be very honest. Y'all know I'm not one to ever make excuses. Because even when I was extremely exhausted, I was still running and everything. And sometimes I had a regiment, sometimes I didn't. But I noticed the times that I did have a regiment were the times where as though I didn't work as much. But I still have goals to accomplish as well. So I knew I had to pick up more shifts in order to basically meet my goals. I'm doing this with the grace of God by myself, you know? So it's not challenging. It's more so I just know what I need to do to accomplish the goals that I have to accomplish. And nonetheless, he just knew it. And y'all, ever since I've been in Atlanta, it's been for a couple weeks now. And like, no, you guys are the first people to know I live here. And it's only temporary. So I'm still a Texas resident. Because that's still my apartment. Like, it's still my apartment. I still have the, like she said, don't get your, basically when they're done renovating everything, I'll be moving back into that same apartment number. That's why I'm not sharing too much of the floor and everything I lived on, because I still live there. I just am temporarily in one of their sister properties and I'm paying my rent here until everything is fully renovated. So they had put me up in a hotel, everything, like everything. And I didn't have to worry about nothing. I didn't have to worry about, when I say not a thing, nothing. Then my sister, my oldest sister, she actually, when I had, because I drove to Penske all the way from Texas to here. And she rode with me. She sat in the passenger seat. She rode with me. So that was a fun little road trip. And I needed her assistance. And I know that when she was helping me, I was like mean at certain points of her helping me. I was really mean. And we had gone after, like, because I was frustrated. Like, I was extremely frustrated, y'all. And when we had went to dinner, we had went to dinner or whatever, I had apologized to her because I was like, without her helping me, I would have had to hire movers. I didn't have to hire movers, nothing, because after my bankruptcy, I became so much of a minimalist that I really don't have that much. I have a lot. And let me tell you how I didn't have faith. My faith was like, I was tearing on my faith or whatever, because I have a 1,000 square foot unit in Texas, and here it's like 795 square feet. And I kept saying, God, I don't know if all of this stuff is going to fit in there, because I remember when I lived here the first time I had back in Atlanta, when I lived here back in 2012, I had 735 square feet. So I knew that if all of my stuff, I always had to go bigger, basically. I always had to go bigger. And God said, just trust the process. Trust the process. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I have a king size bed. I got a king size bed. Not only does my king size bed, my dresser, my two dressers, right? The one that stands horizontally. That sits horizontally, and the one that stands vertically. And then my two side dressers are in my bedroom. My bathroom is huge. My tub is amazing, y'all. Everything here is twice as big. It's smaller square footage wise, but everything is twice as big. Like my stackable washer and dryer is twice as big as it was in Dallas. Like, I would have to actually take like my comforters and stuff to the laundromat to wash them in Texas, because my stackable was smaller. It was not designed to put a comforter in there at all. And this one is so big. Like, they're so big. I see the beauty in everything. Everything is stainless steel. And it was stainless steel in Texas as well. And I'm not comparing apples to oranges, but everything is more than what I expected. I didn't envision any of this. I'm just so grateful. Then, as you guys know, and then they said, like, basically, even after everything is renovated, I don't have to come back if I don't want to. If I decide that I don't want to come back, I'm like free and clear. I don't have to go back. But I kept telling God, I miss like smelling the fresh air. Like, because I'm on a plane every day, my apartment in Atlanta worked for the season I was in when I was a stockbroker. It worked because I was working from home. You know what I'm saying? I was working from home. But now that I'm not working from home, I need to smell that fresh air. My apartment in Atlanta, in Texas, it was formerly a hotel that they converted into apartment units. So, some hotels, it doesn't allow you to open the windows. So I could never smell the fresh air unless I physically went outside. Versus here, I have a balcony, a beautiful balcony. I have and it's super big, it's large. And then I have, I could just smell the fresh air. And y'all, I have a futon, and I always had a futon just in case, my nieces and nephews came over. If they didn't all want to sleep in my bed, then two or three of them could sleep on the futon. So now I got the futon on a balcony as basically just as for me to go out and journal and just like embrace the outside. And when I say everything fit into my apartment, every single thing fit into my apartment. And I just had to trust the process. That's all I had to do, is surrender and trust the process. But I am so dedicated to just eating better. Like, since I've been here, y'all, since I've been in Atlanta, I haven't eaten no fast food, zero fast food since I've been here. I successfully completed, and I can now talk about it because I completed it. I successfully completed an 11-day spiritual water prayer fast. I haven't drank any type of like soda. I already don't drink soda. Like, generally I'll drink soda when my menstrual is about to come on, and I just need something to, I don't know, just a ginger ale or something. But I was drinking an abundance of orange juice and apple juice. When I say I was drinking so much of that, I had an orange juice maybe 2 days ago, and I don't know what was wrong with that taste, but I couldn't finish it, and I wasted it. So I even asked God to like just change my eating habits, y'all. Change my eating habits. Since I've been here, I have had 100% of water in my refrigerator. I haven't even fully gone food shopping yet. And it's not because I cannot afford to go food shopping. It's legit because I asked God, I said, when I go to Atlanta, I'll need you so that I can go, don't like binge eat and stuff like that, or just eat out of boredom and stay on track. I ask that you give me my daily bread until I get back to the point of where as though I can meal prep and stuff like that. And I asked God that, y'all, when I say he knows the desires of your heart, you just go to Matthew 7:7, asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find, and knocking the door shall be opened unto you, y'all. Y'all just gotta ask. Y'all just gotta ask. Now, the only thing I did ask God for, and I'm so serious about this, I asked God that, like, when I lose this, like, a lot more, because I lost 17.5 pounds on my 11-day water fast. However, 8 of them is back. But when I added food. But I say this to say, y'all, when I did ask God if, like, once I lose this weight, that it fills out my butt. Like, yeah, like, I really want a butt. But that's just, but I asked for the desires of my heart. But nonetheless, even if you don't, y'all know I still walk and I switch so hard like I got the biggest butt in the world. But that's a bit in vain. I'll get there when I'm supposed to. But nonetheless, I really did ask God for that. Like, I really asked God for that, though, y'all. I'm not even lying. I really asked him for that. But nonetheless, he really and sincerely do know the desires of our heart. You just have to ask and you shall receive. And if that door isn't opening, you better kick that thing down. Just kick it down. And just fret not. It may feel like, I don't know, like after my fast, I don't even want to say after my fast, during my fast, I was not in a mood. Like, I wasn't in a mood to, I don't know. When I say I have not been in a mood to be like my normal bubbly self. And I said, why do I feel so heavy? Like, why is it that I'm done with the fast when I feel so heavy, like the burdens are so heavy, but I'm so blessed, and I really still haven't gotten the answers to it yet. Like, I really haven't gotten the answers, but I'm doing better. And but I'm so grateful. I just came in here And and I just keep crying because I'm so grateful. Like I'm crying not because I'm weak, but I'm crying because I'm grateful. And but and also it's because I'm weak in certain areas too. Like, let me be very clear and transparent. But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I tell God thank you every day. And y'all, I don't care how heavy my luggage is. I don't play with spending my time with God. No matter how heavy, something is going to get left at this house, but my Bible is going to go with me no matter what. Oh, let me show you what else I found. Hold on. Okay, look, y'all. So, remember I told you I just worked a trip to Milwaukee? So, while we were going to the hotel on day one of the trip, pardon me, you guys, while we were going to the hotel on day one, we were waiting for our shuttle, and look what I walked over. And look, it's gold. It's gold. And I just made this connection right now. So it says my little Bible, and it fits right into my wallet. Like, so on the back, it says Deacon Austin Providence Baptist Church. And then it's like little scriptures that'll get you through your daily bread when you're feeling weak and weary. And it's so crazy because I really forgot that this has been in my bag since I put it in my bag when I found it. So that's even crazier when I just told you guys I don't have to answer, and boom. But with another connection that I made is, look, it's gold on here. So remember, everything I touch will turn into gold in a season. And the color scheme of my place is emerald green, golden cream. So how about that? So I just made this connection right now in real time with you guys. But yeah, so this is like, I'm going to keep this, my little Bible. I'm going to keep this in my wallet. And I really forgot I had this until right now when I mentioned the word Bible. But see how good he is. I see how good he is. But yeah, I'm so grateful. I have more than enough. And I was crying. Because the other day, because I was saying how my April of 2019 is completely a 180 from what my April of 2025 looks like. Like, that's so crazy to me. And I remember I used to sit by the airport when I was like waiting on a new ride to ding when I was a Uber and a Lyft driver, as I was like, trying to pay off my bankruptcy. And I remember I used to pray that I became a flight attendant. And I used to just watch the planes take off. And y'all, this month I'll be celebrating my 2nd year anniversary. On the 10th, I'll be celebrating my 2nd year anniversary as a flight attendant. And I'm just so grateful because of all of the amazing people that I meet all the time. And I do know why. Because I was about to start this disclaimer with, I don't know why, but I do, because I asked God that. But God always puts me in position to study a particular word, not every day, but study a particular word, and then put somebody in my path to where as though I can exclaim the goodness of his works and basically sum up what I just read that morning to that individual that's going through something on that day that I meet them on their journey, along their journey rather. And he's just been so good to me. And even when I felt like giving up, when I say unexpected blessings keeps on happening, just like in a good way though, y'all, in a good way. But I'm so grateful. Yeah. And I'm covered. But I love you guys. I'm going to end this. But I love you guys. I hope you guys stay empowered, inspired, encouraged, illuminated, enlightened, and uplifted. And if it's in God's will, I shall see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. Bye.